And here we can see the white caps in the background as our crew winds up blasting their way toward the mouth of the inlet. We've definitely got a full send cap on our hands here as he just absolutely lays into the throttles on this one. But welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet here in Miami. And as you can tell, it's gonna be a little bit of a rough one. Our captain here winds up slaying it as he makes his way in. Let's see how the rest of our captains fare as they step in the ring and do battle with the inlet. Now, of course, if you couldn't tell from those first images, we are not at Haulover today. We are visiting his cousin to the north, Boca, which always makes for a fun time. But here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a NauticStar in the ring to see if they can go ahead and get on the board first. But let's go round one as our crew starts to make their way out. So Cap's taking the slow roll approach on the way out here, not really wanting to get on the throttle at all, but he definitely probably should trim up. As you can see, we got some big waves. He's going to have to get that bow up to try and make sure they don't wind up taking any waves over the bow. And it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do, whether he's going to cross the bar here or if they're going to make that turn to the right, go a little south, and try and get a little better ride on the way out. But as of now, it looks like they're going to tackle the bar and try and go over it. Now let's see if they wind up paying the price on that one or if it winds up working out. Again, it's definitely a rough day, and it's not one of those days I'd really want to be going out. They're heading out fishing, it looks like, but that doesn't look like it's going to be any fun for them whatsoever. But Cap comes across the bar. So far, it looks like they're going to be all right, and this crew might wind up sneaking one out here for the boats in the first round. Let's see how it finishes. No! They stuff it right at the end, and at the last second, wind up taking the loss for the boats here in the first round. And that will bring us to the second round of our contest. And here in the second round, the boats are going to toss a Boston Whaler in the ring to see if they can go ahead and try and get this one tied back up. And we got another full send cap on our hands as my man has this throttle just laid wide open almost as they come blasting toward the mouth of the inlet. The boat is riding high on the water. I mean, it's always a little risky to try and blast with a following sea like this, as you never know how that one's going to play out. But right now, it's working out really well for this crew as they wind up working their way right into the mouth of the inlet, and it looks like they're easily going to take a win for the boats here in the second round just by keeping that throttle opened up. And of course, that's going to bring us to the third round of our competition. We are now tied at one apiece as the boats are going to toss a Freeman in the ring to see if they can go ahead and actually climb out front. Let's go round three, and the Freeman is working its way out. On this one, I would definitely want to keep the throttle opened up a little bit, let this Freeman stay on top of these waves, get a little air in the tunnel, and just power your way through. But Boca is firing hard, and this crew winds up backing off on the throttles, which is typically not what you want to see with these big cats. Don't get me wrong, you want to play it safe and take it easy, but the reality is these cats, when it gets a little rougher, want a little more power behind them so they can go ahead and get higher in the water. Now, fortunately, this is a monster. This boat is an absolute beast, so even coming off the throttle a little bit is not going to matter too much for this crew, as they're going to go ahead and make it out and wind up taking a win for the boats, which will give the boats the 2-1 edge as we move into the fourth round of our contest. And here in the fourth round, the boats are going to toss a Sea Fox in the ring to see if they can go ahead and maybe close this one out early. This one's going to be rough. Right here, we've got our girl acknowledging the camera, but man, we've got everybody in the bow of the boat on this rough day. That's likely not going to pan out well for this crew. So they're starting to work their way out. So Cap's keeping everybody up front. She wisely at least moves back and gets behind the console. And man, this is going to be a rough ride being up in the front of this. Let's see if he can keep the bow up even. But right here, they're going to hit the first wave, come down, and he's keeping the bow high enough where they might not wind up stuffing it on this one, but still, some of these waves, like right here, they take a pounding, and the crew's gonna wind up remembering that one, even though they made it out. I don't like the way they played that with people going out in the bow, so I'm going to give Cap the L on that one for trying to put people at risk as they're going out the inlet on a rough day. And that's going to bring us to the fifth and final round, tied at 2 apiece. Let's go. The Coast Guard with the safe boat stepping in the ring to try and close it out. Now this crew's got the boat moving, keeping the bow high, and these are the pros. These are your rough water guys that you want out there when things get going rough, and let's see how they handle it. They wind up having to back off the throttle a little bit here, but still working on keeping it trimmed up and keeping the bow high to make sure they don't wind up stuffing it. But right here, the Coasties look like they're doing a pretty solid job, even with some really rough conditions out here. And all of a sudden, there we go, as they work their way out the mouth of Boca, and they're going to wind up taking a win for the boats, which means the boats are going to take the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.